The war between humanity and the Zorvathi Empire had been raging for 3 years when the Battle of Arkon Reach changed everything. Arkon Reach was a narrow corridor of space surrounded by shattered asteroid belts and dying stars. It was the only hyperspace route connecting several important systems, which meant both sides wanted control of it. For the Zorvathi, however, the battle had a deeper meaning. Their princess was leading the fleet. Princess Lyrielle, heir to the Zorvathi throne, was not just royalty. She was a symbol of hope for her people. Unlike most members of the imperial court, she believed humans were not enemies to be destroyed, but potential allies. Unfortunately, not everyone in her empire shared that belief. I was there the day everything went wrong. My name is Captain Marcus Hale, pilot of a small human rescue and recon vessel called the Sparrow. We weren't built for war. Our ship specialized in search and rescue missions, pulling survivors from wreckage after battles were over. That day, the battle above Arkon Reach turned into chaos. Human cruisers clashed with Zorvathi warships in a storm of plasma fire and exploding debris. The void lit up with bright flashes of weapons that could tear through steel like paper. From our position near the edge of the battlefield, we watched the disaster unfold. And then we saw the explosion. Princess Lyrielle's flagship, an elegant golden vessel called the Celestial Dawn, took a direct hit from a human torpedo. The ship erupted into flames. Fragments of its hull scattered across the asteroid field like burning snow. Everyone on every channel heard the same thing. The royal ship is destroyed. Within minutes, both fleets began withdrawing. The war had just claimed its most tragic victim. Or so everyone believed. The signal no one else saw. 3 hours after the battle ended, my crew and I began scanning the debris field. It was standard procedure. War left survivors trapped in broken ships all the time. Most of the time, though, there was nothing left to save. My scanner technician, Elena Ruiz, suddenly leaned forward in her chair. "Captain," she said, her voice tight. "I'm getting a signal." "What kind of signal?" She adjusted the console. "It's weak, but it's definitely Zorvathi." I frowned. "Probably a damaged beacon." "No," she said slowly. "It's a life sign transmitter." My stomach tightened. "From where?" She pointed to a cluster of debris drifting near a massive asteroid. That wreckage used to be part of the royal flagship. The room went silent. Everyone knew what that meant. If someone had survived the destruction of the Celestial Dawn, there was only one person it could possibly be. "Take us in," I said. Middle, the impossible rescue. The debris field was a nightmare to navigate. Chunks of twisted metal and shattered engines floated in every direction. One wrong maneuver could rip our ship apart. As we approached the signal, Elena's scanner began beeping faster. "Life signs confirmed," she said. "But they're fading." "Where exactly?" She zoomed in on a piece of wreckage lodged against the asteroid's surface. "There." I guided the Sparrow carefully through the floating wreckage until we hovered near the damaged section of hull. The Zorvathi ship fragment was barely holding together. A small emergency hatch was still intact. "Marcus," my co-pilot said nervously, "that structure could collapse any second." "I know." I grabbed my rescue suit helmet. "Keep the engines ready. If that hull breaks apart, we leave immediately." "And you?" "I'm going in." Inside the wreckage, the airlock of the broken ship creaked as I forced it open. Inside, the corridor was dark and partially collapsed. My helmet lights illuminated torn wires, shattered consoles, and drifting smoke. I followed the emergency beacon signal through the ruined passageways. Each step made the metal groan under my boots. Finally, I reached a small escape chamber. The door had jammed halfway open. Inside, someone was lying against the wall. At first, I thought they were dead. Then they moved. I rushed forward. The figure was tall and slender, wearing damaged royal armor that shimmered faintly even through the smoke. Her skin glowed softly, like pale silver, and her long dark hair floated weightlessly in the low gravity. It was her, Princess Lyrielle. Her breathing was weak, and a deep cut ran across her shoulder. But she was alive. "You're safe," I said quickly. Her violet eyes opened slowly. For a moment, she looked confused. Then she whispered something in her language. I activated the translator in my suit. "Human?" "Yeah," I said. She tried to sit up but winced in pain. "You should not be here." "Well," I replied, "someone had to come check if the rumors about your death were exaggerated." She gave a faint smile. "You risk your life for an enemy. Rescue pilots don't really care about sides." The ship suddenly shuddered violently. My suit alarm blared. "Structural failure imminent." "Okay," I muttered. "Time to go." The escape. I lifted the injured princess onto my shoulder. She was surprisingly light. As I carried her through the collapsing corridor, pieces of metal began breaking away from the walls. When we reached the airlock, the asteroid's gravity shifted the wreckage again. The entire section of hull started drifting apart. "Marcus," Elena's voice shouted through my comm, "that ship fragment is breaking up. Opening airlock now." The outer hatch blew open just as the wreckage split in half. I leaped toward the Sparrow. My crew pulled us inside seconds before the debris exploded outward into space. The secret passenger. Back aboard the ship, our medical officer rushed Princess Lyrielle to the infirmary. Her injuries were serious, but not fatal. "She'll live," the doctor said after stabilizing her. I leaned against the wall in relief. But then the reality of our situation hit me. "Do you realize what we just did?" Elena asked quietly. "Yeah," I said. "We just rescued the most important person in the Zorvathi Empire. And right now," she added, "their entire civilization believes she's dead." Ending. The princess returns. 2 days later, we arrived near the Zorvathi capital system. Their fleet immediately surrounded us. Weapons locked onto our tiny ship. A massive alien warship transmitted a message. "Human vessel," the commander said coldly. "State your purpose before we destroy you." I looked at the princess standing beside me on the bridge. She was still recovering but insisted on being present. "Ready?" I asked. She nodded. I activated the main screen. "This is Captain Marcus Hale of the rescue vessel Sparrow," I said. "We're returning someone you lost." The bridge of the alien warship appeared on screen. Dozens of officers stared at us. Then Princess Lyrielle stepped forward. The reaction was immediate. Shock. Disbelief. Several officers literally staggered backward. It cannot be," one of them whispered. "The princess died at Arkon Reach." Lyrielle spoke calmly. Clearly, that report was incorrect. Within minutes, the entire Imperial fleet learned the truth. Their princess was alive, and a human had saved her. A new beginning. Later that evening, as the Sparrow prepared to depart, Princess Lyrielle met me in the docking bay. "My people owe you a debt," she said. "I was just doing my job." She looked at me thoughtfully. "You risked your life for someone your species considers an enemy. War's complicated," I said. She smiled faintly. "Perhaps it does not need to be." Before leaving, she turned back. "My father, the Emperor, will want to meet the human who brought his daughter home." "That sounds terrifying." She laughed softly. "For you, perhaps." Then she extended her hand. "Marcus Hale, today you did more than save a life." "What else did I do?" "You gave 2 civilizations a chance to stop fighting." I looked out at the stars beyond the hangar doors. Maybe she was right. Because sometimes the end of a war doesn't begin with a victory. Sometimes it begins with a rescue. and a human pilot who refused to leave someone behind, even if that someone was an alien princess everyone believed was already dead. Milky Way.